Hello, welcome everyone to another episode of our podcast. And today I know that Bitcoiners don't like the banking. They want to be not contact with the banks, not moving money, not moving fiat. But we live in a world when we still need all these things. And the hyper Bitcoinization, I think, and we agree with most of the Bitcoiners that came to the podcast that it's going to take time. So for that reason, we need alternatives that can act as like a hybrid between the digital world, the Bitcoin world, and the real world until the hyper Bitcoinization that is going to take time. So today we are going to talk with Victor. I met him in the Baltic Honey Badger, and he has an interesting solution for banking to these companies that are related to crypto, to Bitcoin, in order to operate better. Because again, we still need the banks, we need still the money, and until we get the total hyper Bitcoinization and everyone can use the Lightning wallet, it's gonna take time. So let me introduce you to our guest today. Victor is originally from Venezuela, former lieutenant of the Air Force, amazing, with a master's degree in state management, became an entrepreneur where he successfully created several fintech and blockchain startups. Victor wrote his first book called Do Not Wait Any Longer, Do It Now in 2010, only in Spanish, which became a bestseller in the micro entrepreneurship field in Venezuela. Over the course of the next several years, Victor was a motivational speaker, lecturing young entrepreneurs on how to create successful companies and pursue their dreams. Since his book was used for banks to offer training to micro entrepreneurs getting loan for work capital. Because of his startups, business experience, and public exposure, Victor became a very sought-after figure. His work and ideas mentioned in magazines and other media. He acted as a global shaper of the World Economic Forum in 2014. After coming to the United States, Victor received the first money transmitter license for Ethereum in Florida. Now he has 4 years in Europe creating innovation in fintech, neo-banking. Today, Victor is the CEO of Pilsenga, which provides banking service. Victor, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you, Fer. Thank you. Bravo. What introduction.
It's nice because again, I've been talking with half of the guests of our podcast are Spanish speakers, and we speak in English. Probably people will criticize
that's the way to communicate with the world, you know.
Of course, and I think that again, the big Bitcoin revolution, I say everything every time, is going to come from Latin America or Africa, because we know that the problems we have with the money, the problems that we have with the control of the governments, and why we need Bitcoin. So I know you don't have too much time today, so let's move forward to the interview. And I'm going to do the first question I do to everyone in this podcast. How were you orange peel?
That's a very good question. But back in the days in 2016 was when I met Bitcoin, thanks to a couple of factors. In fact, the first time I heard about Bitcoin, it was in 2012 in the World Economic Forum. I was visiting Panama for the WEF LATAM, where many presidents were there attending the World Economic Forum conference. And it was, in fact, a panel about Bitcoin in 2012 that they were talking about AML, about regarding Bitcoin, because Bitcoin was growing by the time. But I wasn't paying attention, you know, so it was like a topic that wasn't the focus of the event, but it was there, you know, and it was surprising for me that in 2012 for the WEF, they were talking about it. But then in Venezuela, I was living in Venezuela at that time. It was very common because we had control exchange regarding the money, you know. I love to say that I came from the future because the fiat system already failed in my country, so like for you as well in Argentina. And people was talking about Bitcoin in 2012, 2013. Unfortunately, due to the circumstances in Venezuela, I had to migrate to US, and I keep listening about Bitcoin. And in fact, one day I started mining Ethereum. So I was talking with an Argentinian friend as well, with my wife, with my mother-in-law, and they were talking about Bitcoin because my wife is from Argentina, and they were talking about Bitcoin as well, and it was pretty funny because I was Venezuela, I am Venezuelan, she is Argentinian, and we were talking about the same topic. And at that time, we were not married, but we were in a relationship, and I had roommates at that time. And I say, look, I'm going to start collecting my roommate payments in Bitcoin. And I remember that the first time I collect a Bitcoin payment, it was like around 800, 700 something, the price of the Bitcoin. And from that time, I started using Bitcoin, and I was starting to taking it seriously. But when I convert to a Bitcoiner was the day that my passport expired in the US as a Venezuelan. US fought with Venezuela, and they kick out all the embassies. So I have no way to renew my passport, and my passport expired. And I was going to Wells Fargo, it's a popular bank in US, and I was trying to withdraw my money. And they were not able to because they need a valid ID, And I was saying like, but this is my passport, Oh, sure, but this is expired. I need to put it in the scanner so the system knows that it's valid. And I was talking, and I got into a discussion for a couple of hours because even the president of the moment, Donald Trump, make a decree where they have to accept the expired Venezuelan passports and those things, but the system wasn't prepared for that. And I simply wasn't able to get my money. So at the end, the solution was that they went back to the office. They issued like a check under the name of a friend of mine. So a friend of mine have to come to the branch, and they have to collect that check for me. So they, in that sense, I was able to collect my money. But that day, I say, fiat system is not going to work. Even in the US, it's not going to work. Because this is me and this is my expired passport, and they are not able to recognize me as a sovereign citizen, So that day I say Bitcoin is going to the realm.
Yes, that's interesting because you have the money, you have in the bank, you have the passport that is showing that you are the owner of that money, and even though they didn't want to give you the money, and of course when you travel, of course you have these problems that you can take like only 10K US dollars, and then the problems on the transfers and many things. And every time that this happened, that and you start seeing, oh, that Bitcoin fixed this every moment. And when you do business, and especially when you run a startup, I think that the problems with the cash flow, that a bank transfer like is one day late, and it's a problem. And when you think about that, say Bitcoin fixed this because they can send me the money immediately. No checkup, no weekends, no holidays, and the money is yours. And also that as I heard many people, that you can carry your own wealth, all your wealth, in a pen drive around the world. And
12 words,
And the only thing that you don't need your passport, you don't need to feel. I remember one time I was living already in Asia, and I transferred some money to Argentina from Thailand. The account was in Thailand under my name. The account in Argentina was under my name, and the money was blocked. So I said, what happened? I called to Argentinian bank, and they say, no, you need to come here to sign the papers to authorize to receive the money. And I say, but it's my money, it's my account, it's mine, but there are the regulations. Luckily, I was flying to Argentina. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. I would have lost the money because I need to go to the bank in Argentina and sign a lot of papers to authorize the money from me to come to my account. It's ridiculous.
From you to you, from you to you.
The money come from my account at that time in Thailand to my account in Argentina. And at that time was like the government of one president that's supposed to be pro-market and supposed to be everything free. So these points, and as you said, we come from the future. All the problems with the fiat are the ones that makes you a Bitcoiner, right?
Exactly like that.
And even though you live in the United States, or at that time you were in the United States, imagine for a person that.
But anyway, I was Venezuelan and with an expired passport, and I wasn't able to access to the system, and it was pretty hard for that.
So with Bitcoin, the only thing you need to know is to remember the 12 or the 24 words, and you can access your money anytime, anywhere, with no middleman. So, and talking about this, because of course these problems brings opportunity to solve, because in the middle we are going to have a lot of time until everyone use Bitcoin. So we need to provide solutions. And I think, as you told me in Riga, that Pilsenga is one of these solutions. So what is Pilsenga? Can you explain?
Yeah. Well, I will give you a bit of background, because since I became in a Bitcoiner in the US, I decided to create the first money transmitter in Florida State at that time, in 2016, and was pretty challenging for us as a financial institution to get a custodial bank account to send and receive customer funds, So we tried dozens of banks to try to get the bank account. Plus, when we were able to stabilize this and get bank accounts to be able to operate, then we got the friction of our customers getting their bank accounts shut down and closed because they were buying Bitcoin, and it was simply legal, and they were doing a legitimate operation, but the banks didn't simply understand what was Bitcoin at that time. So after many intense migrating to Europe, expanding companies to Europe, I realized that neobanks are a need in the market, because especially if you are specializing in the blockchain industry and many others industries that are high risk, and they need the understanding of compliance in order to be able to offer the banking services. So I decided to create the first neobanking that offers Euro IBANs with SEPA transactions for crypto companies. That means if you are an exchange, that means if you are a company that is investing in Bitcoin, or you are related in any way to a Bitcoin, and your conventional bank doesn't understand what you're doing, we do. So we will ask the right questions. For example, as simple as imagine that you are a miner and that you need to convert your rewards in order to pay the utility bill. If you are with a conventional bank, they will say, oh, you are with Bitcoin, you are laundering money, because they simply don't understand. But for us, it's simple. Are you mining as an individual? Are you mining as a company? Okay, please take a picture of your mining equipment. Please send us an utility bill to as a proof that you are consuming the energy for the mining. If you are doing proof of work, if you are doing proof of stake, please send us a copy of the servers that you are using for this for running the nodes, because we understand what the industry is, and we know how to do the right questions in order to be compliant with the law and make a legitimate operation for you. So that's how Pilsenga born, because we are coming from blockchain to banking to offer and solve the banking needs for crypto companies.
Yeah, this is good, because sometimes when you deal with the banks, the big banks, of course, you deal with an employee that doesn't understand and just follow some kind of rules or some kind of I don't know, guidelines that they come. So in this case, we can say bank, is operated by people that understand the industry. That is the main advantage, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
not just that. For example, things like how can you prove that you're mining? Okay, let's check what is your Bitcoin address. Okay, let's check that you are receiving rewards and no Bitcoin transfer. So we check the reward in the blockchain, and we need to have the proof of ownership. So let's have a test transaction from your wallet to us, and let's create an affidavit that you own that wallet, because the bank say, oh, but how can we know that you own the wallet? Well, it's pretty hard, It's like you are having cash. How you know that you own the cash? Oh, because you are bringing it. So we just create the framework in how to work it out.
So basically, the company, let's say that a company that is mining Bitcoin, just to understand, just they can open an account in Pilsenga, and
Yes.
they can exchange the Bitcoins through Pilsenga, or how it does it work?
They can do two ways, We can offer the bank account, and they can convert it with the preferred exchange they have. Or if they don't want to deal with the exchange and they want to deal directly with us, we can convert the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency they are mining for them, and we will deposit it straight to their bank account, the euro, so they can do the fiat payments that they have to perform.
So they basically they convert the Bitcoins, the fiat money goes to the account under Pilsenga, and using this account they can pay whatever, send overseas transfer everywhere, right?
Yes.
Exactly. It's interesting, and this works with companies or also with individuals.
Both.
So it means that anyone can open an account and operate.
Well, not anyone, because our services are limited to the European countries and UK countries.
So only you need to have, for example, in my case, I'm Argentinian, and I could have, but I don't have a European passport. But let's say in Argentina, there are a lot of people with you.
But you as an Argentinian, you can own a European company, and the European company can open a bank account with us. Yes.
Excellent. So and operate Bitcoin through this company without any stupid questions from the bank, right?
I mean, the stupid questions are perspective, but because we will make the questions. But the thing is, if we understand the questions, yes, we understand the questions, and we will make the right questions.
No, of course, I understand, because the thing is that, as you said, probably if you go, I had a friend here in Hong Kong that he was trying to operate some kind of platform to trade carbon credits through the blockchain. And they couldn't open a bank, because when you try to open a bank in Hong Kong, you need to explain detail by detail what you are going to do, why you need account, which payment. When you open the account, you need to say, what you need to, how many payments are you going to receive per year? And you say, I'm just opening. And they were blocking him because of this. They say, blockchain, crypto, Bitcoin, for sure it's money laundering, because they don't understand the business.
Yeah, well, it's not that we will not make the questions. We will make exactly the same questions, but we understand, and it's normal for us that you answer Bitcoin. You can fill the form saying that you have Bitcoin activity, and that's not an issue for us. But we will do exactly the same questions that like Hong Kong banks. Yes,
I understand.
What volume you are going to have, top 3 providers, top 3 clients, etc. Yes. We will make exactly the right question. I'm a Bitcoiner, and I understand that it's like it's a bothering process, but there is no way around. There is no way around for this in a regulated environment, because we just have to comply with it.
No, that's what I was saying at the beginning. Like, we the Bitcoiners, we don't like the banks. We want to do everything like simple, with no question, with no KYC. But we live in a world where we need all this stuff. So that's why we need companies like you that understand the Bitcoin needs, right?
It's a ramp. It's a ramp.
That's
On and up from the crypto world to the fiat world. Yes.
Yeah, because for example, a normal bank asks all these questions, but when they say Bitcoin or crypto, they say no, this is something shady. So we don't open the account because of this.
Exactly.
And which are the requirements to open an account? How is the process to open an account in Pilsenga?
Well, that will depend on your field of activity and if you are individual or business customer. But KYC and KYB are pretty conventional, like most of the banks, Probably we will perform more questions than a conventional bank because we have to create the profile of the customer and we will do the right questions, So, for example, if you are a mining company, we will make the questions regarding the mining and we have to documentate all that information to put it on your client profile. But the normal documents will be articles of incorporation, cap table of the company, shareholders, KYC of the shareholders, proof of address, bank statement. If you're a new company, of course, you will not need a bank statement, but you will need a proof of address and many other documents that are very conventional or standard for the industry. Yes.
Yeah, because I assume that you are also super regulated, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I say, we're regulated, but we're a solution, and we work, and it works.
Yeah.
So if you are not doing anything shady, you will reply to the questions we will make. Because you just need to operate transparent with everything you are doing. So if you are not replying to the question, of course you are a customer that the bank will not onboard because we're regulated. So that's it.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing, because if you don't ask the question and you just open the account to anyone, and then these guys do something shady, and you pay for it.
Yeah, and it's not just about shady things. Sometimes there are people that is very private, and they don't want to share information. And I also understand that, but they have to understand that Pilsenga is a regulated institution, and we have to perform the KYC if you need the services. If not, we will not be able to provide the service, and that's it. And I understand the privacy. So, but it's a deal breaker,
Yes, as we said, we live in a world with all the regulations, and we need to comply. And I think that I'm in the middle, like, okay, but if we regulate some kind of the market, I think it's better for the regular people to go in, to make people coming more into the Bitcoin or the crypto environment, right?
Yep.
And how long does it take for a company to open an account in Pilsenga?
Usually 48 to 72 hours. But if you are in an urgency and you need to expedite the opening of the account, we can do it as fast as one day, same day.
And
you start in the morning and you have all the documents in PDF,
So yeah, that's an advantage related to the banks, because even if you, let's say we have two companies here in Hong Kong, and the first one took some time, and the second one we already know how to operate. So we went and we answered all the questions, we sent all the documentation, and was very straightforward, and it took like 14 days, 2 weeks, and and that was fast. Like, okay, because you provide all the correct information, it took 2 weeks. So if you take like 2 to 3 days, is amazing.
Exactly. And especially, I was visiting Dubai a couple of months ago, and I was looking in the process of how to get a bank account in Dubai, and it was like a process of 1 to 2 months for a company. It was crazy, insane, how in a city that is so modern, it's so hard to get a bank account. And I was like, Pilsenga is like, light years ahead of this, because we can offer an onboarding in 24 hours or something like that. Even if you have 4 shareholders in 4 different time zones, If they perform the KYC or the selfie check that we are going to perform, everything will be okay. But the thing is, there they are requesting wet stamp, wet seal, still, and wet signature and those things. Even they have a digital signature with their ID, they are requesting still wet stamps in letters printed, And
Yeah,
I was, what the hell is this,
yeah.
Because
This I
you are
think.
promoting digital residency with digital signature, but you are not using it. Imagine Estonia. I was living, I've been living in Estonia for 4 years, and Estonia is so digital. You have your ID, you connect it to through a USB port with like a connector, a port that you get when you get the ID, and you sign online. You can notarize. You can buy a house even online. You can get married online. You can sign anything online. You don't have to be in Estonia to buy or sell a property, because the notary will open like a Zoom, and you will connect the ID, and the software will recognize that it's you, and it's going to ask for a PIN that only you as a citizen
Oh,
and they already remove user and password, because nowadays is the digital identity that allows you to log in all the services, like in your bank, in your water company, electricity company, you log in with your ID.
yes. So that's the main features, right? That Pilsenga have. You can
Exactly.
open everything online. You can
Online.
do everything online, right?
Yes.
The only requirements is that you need to be a company registered in Europe and and
Or
and
as an individual European resident.
European resident.
Yeah.
So they go they go to the site. They just fill the form. They need to schedule some calls.
Usually, we're not so retail company, most of our customers are mouth to mouth, and they're introduced by actual customers. Anyway, we receive contacts through the contact form, and once we receive the contact form, we will send an email with a couple of questions, and then we schedule a call, so we understand the client needs, and if we can provide the banking services for them, because it's like we have to match as a service provider and as a client. So if we confirm the match that we can provide the services, we will start the onboarding of the customer. We will send anyway, the sign up link is pretty open on the system, but they will have to create the profile and send all the documentation. We don't have like all the sign up online, because since we are a specialized banking services, uh, each company requires a different onboarding process and questions. So each customer we try to understand the customer needs, and we will make the right questions. So for example, if you're a Bitcoin miner, you will have one list of questions. If you're an exchange, you will have a different list of questions. If you are a company, a hedge fund that is investing in Bitcoin, you will have a different list of questions. So everything will depend in the relation of crypto you have and how you approach it. If you are regulated or not, if you have license or not, if you have registrations or not. So all the process is different for each company.
It's tailored, so I think that for that reason, I think it's fast. And how does it affect the operation of your company? All this new the ETF coming is coming a different regulation. The regulation is changing, or what?
I mean, I think it's positive. Also, there are people ask about the bad news and the good news, but I think the Bitcoin industry has enough maturity and is solid right now. So it is like a big market, So the people right now, for example, if the chairman of the SEC in US say something, they go to a suit or court or whatever, I don't see the industry like shaking, I see a solid industry right now regarding Bitcoin, and I see it's growing like crazy, and I see a lot of people is joining the industry, and I think it's like quiet right now, and people is not talking a lot about that because it's more solid. So and also like the Bitcoiners are understanding that Bitcoin is not for everyone. It's like gold. Is gold the gold standard right now in the world? Yes. Everyone has gold? No. So it's the same for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a Bitcoin standard and it's crazy like hell. Yes. A lot of people own it. Yes. It's for everyone. No. As simple as that. So, but what I can see is there is a solid foundation of the industry right now, and I don't think it is going to be shut down. It's my opinion. No, it's a personal opinion, but I see it. I see a bright future in Bitcoin.
And talking about the future of Pilsenga, what are the plans? What are you expecting about that?
Regarding Pilsenga, I think we have 5 years of growth ahead, since we are attached to an industry that is pretty solid and is growing like crazy. I think the next 5 years are going. Pilsenga is going to be growing like 3x per year, in 5 years in a row. So we are in our second year and we have demonstrated that we're growing. And I think it will keep in that way. We are a conventional company, we are not like creating the hot water here. It's just a banking service and we are giving a quality, dedicated customer support. And also, we are not the cheapest on the market, but we are offering something that some companies need. So we're competing with quality of service right now. And also, we're not the cheapest, but we're not that expensive. So we are like a right fit. And we try to provide a really good service for us. So right now, our company is under 50 customers, but I'm expecting for the next year to be around 300 customers. And I'm expecting to 2025 to be close to the 1,000 customers. So we are not massive, we are not retail. And I think the digital banking industry is going to have an atomization. There are going to be like 1,000 new banks offering tailored services for the companies, because the thing is, each company requires special care, special understanding, special customer support. So that cannot be massive.
Yeah, I think that this is important. Sometimes in every aspect, not only in the banking, I personally, as a personal and as a business, I prefer to pay a little bit more, but get a better service that
Exactly.
can, as you said, if I have to spend 2 weeks to open a bank account and probably get rejected because say something related to mining or Bitcoin or whatever, just for this, I prefer to pay more and have a tailored service that can understand what exactly I want and I need.
Exactly. And the good part is, since you have dedicated customer support, you can just pick up your phone, call through WhatsApp. We will create your preferred messaging app groups. So for example, if you're in Telegram, if you're in WhatsApp, if you're in Signal, we will create groups for you. If you're in Slack, we will create a Slack group for you. And you will communicate with your account managers through that. And the good part is that we will put compliance, we will put commercials, and we will put operation managers there. So you will have all the replies you need pretty fast. And everyone will be on the loop, because that's what the people is looking for. Imagine nowadays how you communicate with a conventional bank. You have no way to communicate through WhatsApp, with a person, with a people, with a real human that you are talking there. You have to go to the branch if that exists. Nowadays there are no banks, but we're trying to humanize the digitalization. So we have no branches, but you have messaging apps, groups, where you can communicate with your banking partner in order to have the care you need.
Yeah, this is amazing. We had a problem with Wise, that they supposed to be super fast, better than the banks, whatever. And they frozen our account, frozen one transfer, because we need to supply documents. We supply the documents and then we enter in a loop. And the only way to take the money out was with the debit card. And from that say, and nobody explained. Nobody. We sent tons of emails, tons of requests, and nobody explained what we needed. They say, okay, just get lost.
Well, and super pro-wise, since I've been in Estonia for 4 years, and they are from Estonia, and a lot of people in Estonia works in Wise. But the thing is, they are retail, and they have some institutional clients that are very big. But that's the thing. It's like you are banking with a community bank or you are banking with the big four,
Yes.
You have to decide that. In the digital world, Wise is one of the biggest one, and you will deal with that kind of flows, bureaucracy, junior support, then junior compliance, then junior commercial, and then if you are late and blah, 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 it will be slow because they are like an elephant, If you go to a neobank, you will find the care you are looking for faster.
Yeah, that's the problem. When some of these companies grow so big, it happened that they lost the ability to solve the problems that for them probably is minor problem, but for a small company, like getting a transfer blocked is a big issue. That's why I think we need Bitcoin. So I know that time is expiring. So I want to start closing this interview asking you your thoughts on the future of Bitcoin. What do you see on the future for Bitcoin?
Well, of course, I can see a bright future. I'm saying that the next 5 years are going to be really good for Bitcoin. I see a lot of institutional adoption. All the players that are coming into the space, all the governments that are coming to the space, all the central banks that are buying Bitcoin as a part of their portfolio, all the people that is buying Bitcoin as a storage of value. So I don't think that is going to stop. I think it's going to keep growing and growing and growing. And that's the only thing I see. There is no going back here. It's just going for the future in a bright future for Bitcoin.
And the last question that I do to everyone, I start with the question of how was the people orange pill? The last question is something that I think that for us Bitcoiners, we don't care too much of the price, but people likes. So 100K when?
I think it's coming. I think anytime soon. I think it could be next year, probably. So I think it's going to happen. I don't have doubt. The real question is when, but I don't have doubt that it's going to happen.
Yes, sometimes
even beyond that,
Yes, of course. Someone I read in Twitter, I think, that says a quote that says that having Bitcoin is like winning the lottery in slow motion, right?
Exactly.
Like buying Bitcoin is winning the lottery in slow motion. You know that it's gonna go to 100. It's gonna want to go 1 million and beyond. The problem is when. That's the thing. So, Victor, at the last part of the interview, just tell the people how can contact you if they want to open an account in Pilsenga. How can they do? And of course, we are going to put everything in the comments, but better to say.
Yeah, well, I really encourage all the people that is based in Europe or UK countries that they are in the need of an Euro IBAN crypto friendly to sign up in our website. That is www.pilsenga.com. You will be able to find the sign up button in the menu. And then after that, we will contact you for sure. And we will make the right questions for you to start the onboarding. Also, if you go below in the page, you will find a contact form. Also, you can contact us through the contact form, and our team will be in contact with you the soonest it can.
Excellent. So we will leave everything, every details here. So Victor, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure.
Nice meeting you at the Honey Badger in the Baltics.
Yes, and I hope we can meet you again probably in another next year I will go to the Honey Badger for sure. And okay, I will speak a little bit Spanish, as I do with all the Spanish speakers. Gracias, Víctor, por tu tiempo. Y
Gracias a
nos
ti.
estamos viendo.
Seguro que sí.
Bueno,
Muy
so thanks everyone for being on the other side. Thanks for following. If you like our podcast, subscribe and follow. Thank you very much. See you next time. And remember, we are all Satoshi.